Hi, welcome to this time's staff pick. We're glad you could join us. Hi, I'm Kimberly and I am from Reference and Teen Services.
Hi, I'm Katie and I'm from the Circulation Department.
I am Susan. I'm the Assistant Library Director.
I'm Michael from the Circulation Department.
Do you like Doctor Who or Firefly or even Guardians of the Galaxy? Then you owe it to yourself to read this book called Invictus. It's a wonderful teen science fiction book that takes place all through time and place. We have a wonderful group of characters. Our main character's name is Faraway, and he starts out going to what is officially a school for time travelers. He flunks out. So he ends up being a smuggler of his own ship, and what they do is they go through time and steal artifacts from different time places and bring them back to be sold to private investors. Well, something goes wrong when he's doing a trip to the Titanic. He meets this mysterious woman, and she is going to end up blackmailing the crew. What for? Why? Well, you'll have to read the book to find out. This book is so much fun. It has some wonderful crew members. There's a cousin named Imogen who dyes her hair a different color all the time with chalk. There's Saffron, a wonderful red panda who is so cute you just want to cuddle him. Graham, the genius engineer who collects Rubik's Cubes. And Priya, kind medic who makes tea for everyone. I suggest this book highly.
Okay. So Kimberly, how does it compare with other time traveling books you've read?
Well, I've read Connie Willis's Time Travel, and this book is a little lighter and a lot more fun. Okay, it's a little less serious. Yeah. I just found out that this book is in the 25 finalists for the top 10 teen book for the year.
Oh, wow.
So that's exciting.
Yeah. I'm bringing a book called Every Heart a Doorway. There are times when all of us would like to go someplace else to escape from this world. Well, in Shannon McGuire's Every Heart a Doorway, you can do exactly that. It starts out at Eleanor West's Home for Wayward Children, and all of the teens who are at this school are there because their parents think something's wrong with them. They're delusional, they're crazy, they're troubled. But really what's happened is all of them have found doorways to a different world, and then they've lived in those different worlds maybe for some months, maybe some of them for years, and then they've been kicked out. So they're all looking for their door back to their worlds. And they're not, they're troubled, they're not crazy, they are wayward because they've lost their way. Each world's different. Some of the worlds are all rainbows and candy and flowers. Some of them are very dark, some of them are very quiet, some of them are musical. Some of them are nonsense worlds like Alice in Wonderland, and some of them even seem evil, or very, very dark. They are unique, but so are the people who find these worlds. The story begins when Nancy comes to the school. She has been in a world called the Halls of the Dead, and it was a very quiet, a very still world, very dark, very cool, and she loves it. But she is asked by the Lord of the Dead, who rules it, to come back to Earth to make sure she really wants to stay in the Halls of the Dead. And so now she finds herself, after years away in the Halls of the Dead, being quiet in this very noisy, vibrant, colorful world. And she's having a miserable time. She tentatively begins to make friends at the school. There's Christopher, who has left the skeleton world. There's the twins, Jack and Jill, whose world was a vampire and a mad scientist. There's her roommate, Sumi, whose world was all color and chaos and craziness. And she starts to feel comfortable, and then somebody's murdered. And it's followed by 2 more murders. And Nancy, as the newest person in the school and also the one who's been to the dead, is the main suspect. The mystery is the plot. What I really liked about this book so much were the characters and the setting and the whole idea that everybody's got a world if you could just find it. I found myself wondering what kind of world I might go to, looking around for a doorway to see if I could find one. This is the first in a series that Shannon McGuire is doing called The Wayward Children. Her next one is Down Among the Sticks and Bones, which talks about Jack and Jill in the world of the mad scientists and the vampire king. So if you've ever wanted to escape, this is a good way to go.
So you said they go in to different doorways and different worlds, what's your favorite world that you'd like to live in?
I don't know if I'd like to live in it, but the way they describe Nancy's Hall of the Dead is fascinating, because you'd think it would be somber, and she keeps emphasizing how beautiful it is and how just quiet and peaceful, and everybody speaks softly and moves like they're graceful. I don't know. It reminded me like an underwater ballet or something. I just would like to see it. I thought she did a good job of giving you an idea about a world that wouldn't necessarily be something you'd think you'd want to go to.
My book for staff picks is American Gods by Neil Gaiman. Neil Gaiman is my most favorite author. Every book that I pick up by him always has some sort of creativity and some sort of new, weird, kooky thing that just entertains me. American Gods is my favorite because it explores the realms of urban myth in America as Shadow Moon and Wednesday traverse across the United States. The plot goes that Shadow Moon comes out of jail, and for reasons that I don't want to spoil, he meets up with Wednesday and makes a deal with him and becomes his bodyguard. But there is a second side to Wednesday that anyone studying Norse mythology would know. Eventually in the book it's revealed. And as he takes this adventure on with Wednesday, he meets different gods and different mythological beings, ranging from Native American, American mythology to Egyptian mythology and Norse mythology. And not only is this a very entertaining and colorful and various amount of different stories interlocking with the main plot line that has interweaving plot lines that show Neil Gaiman's richness and intellect and knowledge about mythology. And anyone who likes mythology or likes learning about America and American history, or just likes a plain adventure mixed with some supernatural occurrences, would really love this book.
Katie, which character in the book was your favorite?
That is very easy. Mine is Matt Sweeney. He is a delightful leprechaun, but not the kind that you would think. He's very tall and he does coin tricks. And just my favorite thing about him is his personality. And he's very, well, let's just say it's not for kids. He has a very direct, strong language, as you would expect with someone from Ireland.
Hi, I'm talking about Hetty Green. My first experience with Hetty Green was back in 8th grade history, about 1970. There was a picture of her in my history book in a somber black outfit. They called her the Witch of Wall Street and said that when she died she was worth about at least $100 million. I was captivated. There are 2 biographies in the 21st century about her. One, The Richest Woman in America, Hetty Green in the Gilded Age by Janet Wallich. And the other is Hetty, The Genius and Madness of America's First Female Tycoon by Charles Slack. They're both similar in many ways. Hetty came from a wealthy family in the whale business. And starting about the age of 6, as soon as she learned to read, she had to read the financial section of the paper to her grandfather and later to her father as their vision failed. So she got an early start in finance. After the death of Russell Sage, she became New York City's leading financier. In fact, on several occasions, she bought bonds to the sum of $1 million or more in order to finance the city, the entire allotment of bonds. She wanted her children to become the richest children in America when she died, which did not happen, but she left them between $100 and $200 million. She did not, while most millionaires lived a life of extravagance and built mansions that neither they nor their heirs could afford. She lived a frugal, some would say miserly life. She never lived in one place for very long because she did not want to set up a residence that would cause her to be taxed in a state. And she was largely successful in that. Vermont ended up getting the largest share of the inheritance tax, which was, I'm thinking, $25,000 or so, a very small amount. She had 2 children, Ned and Sylvie. Neither one produced children. After Ned died, the inheritance went to Sylvie, and then when she died, it was donated to a large number of colleges and other charitable institutions, including a library. Hetty lived among the common people. One probably apocryphal tale is that an English member of the English peerage visited her farm and complained that her cow had chased him. Not getting the apologetic look that he was expecting, he told her his title, and she replied, "Tell that to the cow."
So what was Hetty's financial formula for success?
It was pretty simple, really. Here's a couple of quotes from her. "When good things are so low that no one wants them, I buy them and lay them away in the safe. When owing to some new development, they go up and my shares are so needed that men will pay well for them, I am ready to sell." And she says, "I am always buying when everyone wants to sell and selling when everyone wants to buy." Unfortunately, most people buy high and sell low, which is not a formula for financial success.
Thank you for joining us today for Staff Picks. If you're interested in any of these books, you can find them at our libraries or in the CleveNet system, or you can look for them on Hoopla, Flipster, or Overdrive. Thanks again for being with us.